Hey, we're on lesson 2.3, which is LCM and GCF, and we're on the What Do You Remember lesson or day, however you want to say that. But in the last lesson, we learned how to do this. So this is what do you remember from the day before? So you need to try these and see which ones that you can do by yourself because in math, it's important to understand which ones you can do and which ones you still need help on. Sometimes when we go over them, you understand what's going on, and as soon as you do it by yourself, you forget all about. So right now, you need to pick and choose the ones that you can do. Hopefully, all of them. Remember, you can look back in your notes for some help, watch a video again from yesterday, and figure this out. So at this time, you're going to pause it, and when you're ready to go, unpause it. Okay, let's look at our first one. Jamie makes plates and bowls. She needs to ship 48 plates and 54 bowls to a store. She wants to ship the same number of items in each box. Plates and bowls are shipped separately. What is the greatest number of items she can ship in each box? So, I don't have enough room right here, so I'm going to go right down here. And I have 48, and then I'm going to put 54. And I have to figure out what's the biggest number. I can go in both of them. I'm going to start with 6, because 6 times 8 is 48, and 6 times 9 is 54. Nothing else can go into 8 and then the 9. So I know I'm done with that portion of it. So I know that the greatest number in each box can be 6. And how many boxes? So 6. How many boxes of items will Jamie ship if she ships the greatest number possible in each of the box? So plates, we have 8, because if we look down here, we have 8 underneath 48. And bowls, we have 9. And we already figured out what the greatest common factor of 48 and 54 is, and we already have it solved there. It is 6. Let's go over here. Complete the inequality using the symbol less than or greater than. I'm going to zoom in because I'm not sure if this is less than or greater than right here. And I think that is a negative sign right in front of there. So that helps us out a little bit. 4, negative 4/10 has to be less than 5/6. On this one, though, let's take a look at it. We can do this by finding a common denominator in the bottom, or we can think mathematically and reason this out. 3, if I only give you 3 pieces out of 33, I basically didn't give you any. But if I gave you 40 out of 100, I almost gave you half. So this is less than, because this is almost 0. This is about half. So let's look down at our next stuff right here. We're going to write an inequality to compare fractions. And so what that means is we're going to take these fractions and we're going to figure if they're less than or greater than. And if we look at this, these are improper fractions. What I'm going to do, I'm going to change them into mixed numbers and see where we go from there. So 18, if I do this right, some of you can do this in your head, but I'll show you how to do it if you can't. 18 goes into 24 once. We're going to subtract 18. We get 6. So that is 18 and 1/6. This one, I have 25 divided by 15. 15 goes into 25. What? We get 10. So 1 and 10/15 is our answer there. I do not know why I wrote 18 there. It's only 1. I wrote the number on the outside. I'm sorry. So we have 1 and 1/6 and 1 and 10/15. So 1 and 10/15. If I give both have a whole number 1, 10 out of 15, I gave you more than half of my M&Ms. 1/6, I only gave you one of my M&Ms. So this is going to be less than, because if I only give you one of my M&Ms to compared over half of my M&Ms, that's going to be less than. So I'm just going to write a less than sign in between these. These ones, we have an 8 and a 7, and I'm going to actually find the common denominators of these. In my head, I already know what it is, but in case you don't, let's find a common denominator. So I have 8 and 7. The only thing that goes into 8 and 7 is 1, so I'm just going to multiply these together, and I get 56. So I need to change each of these into 56 on the bottom. So 8 times 7 is 56. And since I multiplied by 7 on the bottom, I need to do the same thing on top. 3 times 7 is 21. The other fraction is 5/7. We have a 56 on the bottom because that's what we decided the common factor was. 7 times 8 is 56. 5 times 8 is 40. 21 is smaller than 40, so it is less than. Now, I'm going to erase this really quick, and I'm going to show you a more simple way to figure out this problem. It is using our mathematical reasoning. So if you need to get this information, still pause it before I erase it, because here I go erasing it. And I just realized that these are negative, so instead of less than, it is actually greater than. Sorry about that. Okay, if we look at this, 3/8, that's less than half. 5/7 is greater than half. So if I only gave you 3 out of 8 of them, if it was positive, this would be less than, but since it is negative, it is greater than. I don't know what I was thinking. I forgot there's negative signs on the last stuff. So it's actually greater than because this will be closer to 0, closer on the right-hand side. Let's go down here. These are going to be straightforward questions. And we're going to get these kicked out of the way. We're going to do LCM on this side. So I have 8. I have 4. The largest number that goes into 8 and 4 is 4 because 4 times 2 is 8 and 4 times 1 is 4. Remember in LCM, we're multiplying all the numbers. So 4 times 2 is 8 times 1 is 8. On this one, we have a 5. We have a 12. We can't take anything out of 5 and 12, so we're going to multiply them together. 5 times 12 is 60. Okay, and then we have 6 and 21. This is our last LCM one. Hopefully your lines are a little straighter than mine. 3 goes into 6 twice because 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 7 is 21. I'm going to multiply these all together now. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 7 is 42. Now, that's the last of our LCM. Now we're going to go to GCF. It's important that you read the difference between these. We have 16 and we have 30. We're going to figure a number that goes into both of those. Sorry about that. I'm going to start with 2. 2 times 8, 16. 2 times 15 is 30. That's as far as we can go. And in this case, it's GCF, so we're going to circle the outside. Remember on GCF, we have the factors, the small numbers. Our next one is 24 and 32. I know that 8 times 3 is 24. I know that 8 times 4 is 32, which is 8. If you don't pick the biggest one, you have to go down a couple of rows. 26 and 39. For some reason, this is always one of the most difficult ones for people. 13 times 2 is 26. 13 times 3 is 39. And so our answer on this one is 13. Now I'm going to head to the next slide, and we're going to take a look at your homework. Okay, this is your assignment. The first 3, you are finding the GCF. So you'll only be circling the numbers on the left-hand side. Number 4 is your first word problem. Ambrose and Caitlin are volunteering at a food bank. They both start at the same time. Caitlin takes 13 minutes. So that's important to pack a box of donated food. Ambrose takes 7 minutes to pack a box of food. How many minutes will they finish packing boxes at the same time? So you're going to be finding the LCM on this one. So I'll set it up for you to remind you. Give or tic-tac-toe, we have 13 and 7. Hint being nothing can go into those besides 1, so you're just multiplying them together. 5 through 7, you're just finding the LCM. 8 and 9, you're writing an inequality with greater than or less than. And then we have our spiral review down here. Number 10, just like 8, 9, you're going to write inequality. So that means you're going to be doing negative 13 is what to negative 10. So less than or greater than. And number 11, least to greatest. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers there. And then which number, negative 12 or negative 18, has a greater absolute value? So we have negative 12, the absolute value of negative 12, and then the absolute value of negative 18. And you are figuring which one is bigger. And that's your assignment. You only have 12 questions. The ones that are going to take the longest are probably these two for you. But remember, for 8 and 9, think mathematically. If you can think mathematically and you're like, oh, this is less than half, this is greater than half, that's going to help you out a lot. If you can't visualize it that way, you will have to find a common denominator, meaning you have to find the least common multiple or whatever multiple works best for you.